G'day camper. Take this camping with you and you're guaranteed the purest drinking water possible from just about any water source you can imagine. And that's not marketing drivel either. Just like this
is not apple juice.
This thing is impressive, but it's worth nothing if it doesn't work, right? Let's review the Itehil portable reverse osmosis water filter. So who is this for? This will suit small vehicle campers, large vehicle campers, camper trailer and caravan owners. Yeah, it depends. And you'll see why as we go. As far as your group size goes, look, this is going to be great for solo campers, camping duos. It can easily supply enough water for your whole family and a small group of friends as well. Now, before we go any further with this review, I just need you to know that no review on this channel will ever be paid for by the brand whose product I'm reviewing. That being said, Itehil did provide me this product to review. That means I was able to negotiate an affiliate link plus a discount for you. So if at the end of the review you decide this product is for you, check out the link below and you can get yourself a discount. Now don't skip this part because this is really important to the review, okay? This video is sponsored and paid for by Kactoily with their 6-in-1 drinking water analyzer. And what I'm about to tell you will explain how it works and what it's testing. So the Kactoily 6-in-1 drinking water analyzer measures 6 data points to give you an overall rating of your drinking water. From 0 to 60, which is poor, 60 to 80, which is average, 80 to 90, which is good, and 90 to 100, which is excellent. The screen lights a different colour for each of these too, so you can easily tell at a glance. Here's a graphic so you can see what each one is measuring while I explain them quickly. UV275, EC and T are the raw measurement data. EC is electrical conductivity, where a small charge is passed between electrodes to measure how much carries through the water. T is temperature, and UV275 shines a UV light towards a sensor and measures how much light is lost. The next three, COD, TOC and TDS, are calculated based on the last 3 data points. COD is chemical oxygen demand, which basically means how much oxygen would be required to break down the contaminants. TOC is total organic carbon, and that's a measure of how much carbon from living or once living stuff is in the water. Finally, TDS, that's total dissolved solids, and that's all your minerals and salts. But before we get on to the testing, it's time to talk hard stats. Here it is, measuring at 230 millimeters high, 178 millimeters wide, and 300 millimeters long. Fresh out of the box, it weighs 5.8 kilos, but it will be heavier after the first use because the filters get saturated. The casing is all plastic. It's not flimsy, but it doesn't feel built like a tank either. There's 2 6,000 milliamp hour batteries in there, and Itehil claims about 34 litres or 9 gallons of water purified off one charge. It's listed on the Itehil website at 499 Australian dollars or 399 US dollars, but every time I've looked it's been listed at 399 Australian dollars, 249 US dollars. In Australia you can purchase it only via their website, but I looked in the US and I did see it is on the Amazon USA store as well. Replacement filters will cost you $29 for the hybrid filter, $39 for the reverse osmosis filter, and that's the same price whether it's Australian or US dollars. You do get them cheaper if you buy them in bulk. You get a 2-year warranty if you buy it through their website. If you're buying on Amazon in the USA, I'm not so sure. But with the hard stats out the way, let's set it up. Here's what comes with your filter unit when you buy it. The filter unit, obviously, this here, the inlet pickup hose. You get 2 outlet hoses, the blue one for domestic water, the white one for drinking water. You get the filters with it, the reverse osmosis filter, the hybrid filter, this here, a filter wrench, and a USB charging cable, which I've never used. I've always just used ones I already have kicking around. So, hybrid filter. It's kind of like a pre-filter. It's good for 11 to 1500 litres of water. It's marked here which is which, so hybrid goes in. Now, the seals can be pretty tight. That was pretty good. RO filter is good for about double the lifespan, so yeah, up to 3,000 litres. That one filters out your lime scale, bacteria and viruses and heavy metals. This one I usually find to be a bit tighter. Pickup hose just screws into the back here. Now it is very flexible, that one, and it kinks really easily, but that looks pretty good. We've got blue for domestic water, not the drinking water, and white is where your clean reverse osmosis water will come out. I feel like the reverse would be a bit more intuitive, blue for drinking water and white for the domestic water, but there it is. The port that you plug them into matched for color. They're not, well, I thought they weren't labeled at first, but then when I look closer, right up in here, it just says drinking water. This is your power, reverse osmosis and hybrid buttons. And then you've got your run indicator light, charge indicator light, RO and hybrid lights. Those two will illuminate when either of the filters needs changing. So I've got some dirty puddle water I collected on my way in here. This is what we're going to filter. Drop that straight in there. Now, if you hadn't noticed, the filter hoses are rigid, which it is a little bit difficult, but you get used to it. It's not the biggest deal. You see what I mean? It keeps trying to come out of the jar. You just have to get things positioned right. Okay, now we hold the run button, 3 seconds. We can hear it working. When you start it up for the first time, when there's brand new filters in it, you need to run it for half an hour. And I think that's just to clean manufacturing stuff out of the filters. And then every time you start it, it will pump quite a volume of water out of the domestic water hose and nothing out of the drinking water hose for the first 30 seconds. What it's doing there is just a backwash, just flushing the filters out. Now, if you're running it for a long time, it does do that backwash thing periodically. I've consistently found I'll get 53 to 55 minutes out of a full charge filtering tap water at home, and a pretty even split, 17 litres of domestic water, 17 litres of reverse osmosis drinking water. And that is smack bang on what their specifications say, 34 litres to a charge. Your output depends on water quality. I'm quite surprised to be getting, it's very close to the same here. You're using quite clean tap water at home, you'll get a 50-50 split. If you've got a caravan or a camper trailer with a huge amount of water storage on board, and it draws water from the same source for washing your dishes and showering and washing the sand off the kids at the beach, and you're drinking, reverse osmosis is one heck of a slow way to fill 200 or 300 litres of water on board your caravan. But if you have a few water sources to draw from, maybe you use separate jerry cans for washing up and drinking, or you've got some sort of a drinking water vessel, this is going to work great. Now, what I filtered there, that was pretty nasty. But would you believe me if I told you I'd done worse? Well, you're going to have to. It's time for the review. My first use, I had trouble. I actually thought I was going to have to send this thing back. But if that had eventuated, you wouldn't even be seeing this review because there'd be no review to give. I'll tell you exactly what happened a little later on, but right now I want to share the successes I have had. The first use was at a stream at my favourite filming spot. It was moving quickly, a little bit brown from the tannins, and I was really surprised to see the Kactoily drinking water analyzer tested at 33, poor. After filtering though, 97, excellent. Very impressive result, and just tasted like cool, fresh spring water. It's worth noting I hadn't actually calibrated the Kactoily drinking water analyzer yet. To do that, you need some distilled water, set it to calibration mode, done. Then I went straight for my toddler's last night's bath water. Toddlers, of course, just drink this straight, no chaser. But us adults, we got to filter it first.
Oh yeah. Juicy. 32. Pour.
After filtering, 99.
Freshly filtered toddler bathwater.
It tastes so clean.
Now, I didn't take it out again for a fair while, but I did plenty of battery rundown tests at home. And in doing those, it consistently filtered it from 74 up to 100. Then I took it way out into the outback, the Holland Track. I filtered a stagnant rock pool. 71 average. Wow. 100, excellent. And then I found a very muddy, murky Namahole. Tested 33, filtered a crystal clear 100. A stagnant pool in the Aussie outback in the bottom of a creek. It was scummy, smelled bad. It's full of mosquito larvae.
Oh,
It tested 0.
the worst score I have seen yet.
I had to do a taste test to see how salty it was, didn't I?
Yep. It's brackish.
Will it do brackish, slightly salty water? I know it won't do salt water. It says that on the website. You need a very expensive reverse osmosis machine to do that. But can it do brackish?
That output is tiny. So 10 minutes running and I've got maybe 200 ml in there.
Score on the Kactoily drinking water analyzer.
You see that? Oh, 56. Poor.
Not much improvement.
See what it tastes like. Yeah, it's cleaned up the brackish a little bit. It still tastes a bit brackish, so brackish water, that's a no.
Every time you test something really dirty, you have to recalibrate that. So I've always tested the drinking water, the filtered water first, and then tested what I was pumping from. But to recalibrate, super simple. I always just kept some distilled water with me. And there's one more test I need to do.
This is not apple juice. Oh, damn.
It filtered really quickly, a lot bigger volume of domestic water than drinking water, but I would not be using that domestic water for anything. And the result? Average 67. Not bad considering my home tap water is 74. Okay, I'm hooked. This thing is impressive, but that's worth nothing if it doesn't work, right? So what happened on that first use? So I did the initial 30-minute flush through. I do think I left it going a little bit longer. Then I came and filled up my drink bottle from it, turned it off, came back 2 hours later to fill up my drink bottle again. Press the button, it runs, does its backwash for 30 seconds. Then I hear it stop the backwash, you hear the pump start to load up, and then it stops. I tried it another 5 times, could not get it to work. Then after thinking about it for a night, I was like, well, I ran it for more than 35 minutes, and then a bit more filling my drink bottle. Maybe the battery was just flat. So I went and put it on charge, left it overnight to charge, and I didn't come back to it for a week. Next week, tap water test at home. Battery was charged a week ago. Press the run button, it fires up, does the backwash, hear the pump start to load up, stops. It's fully charged. So what's this flashing light then? Is that something to do with it? So I have to email Itehil. That is your battery level indicator, they say. High power reduces flashing time, low power extends it. Okay, it's a bit cryptic. It's not in the instructions anywhere. So I take a 65 watt USB-C charger, I plug it in, I fire it up, does the backwash, and off it goes. It's working. This is so good. Unplug the USB-C, stops, as the battery died. So I let it charge. 20 minutes and the battery's charged. That's not surprising because I fully charged it a week ago. It should still be fully charged. Then I press the run button and it doesn't stop. And it keeps going for another 53 minutes. And it has been like that ever since. I've never had that problem again.
Now, in the interest of full fairness and transparency, I did bring this up with Itehil, and recently they told me they have addressed the battery issue in the newest production models.
Now it's time for the pros and cons. Pro number 1, you've seen this for yourself. You can now drink pretty much anything that's a liquid. Pro number 2, it is compact, it is lightweight, especially for reverse osmosis technology. It'll fit perfectly in just about any 4-wheel drive or car camping setup. And the extra little bit of space and weight that it takes up could easily be offset by having to carry less water. Pro number 3, the taste of the water is impeccable. I cannot fault it, except for the brackish, stagnant river pool. One thing people do say about reverse osmosis water is that it can taste a bit flat. Maybe that's something to do with the fact that it's pretty well devoid of all minerals. Pro number 4 is the good filter life. So, seeing as it'll do 34 litres on a charge, and the hybrid filter is rated for about 1500 litres, the reverse osmosis is rated for about 3000 litres, those are going to last a long time. And when they do go, they're pretty cheap. Con number 1, the user experience is lacking. I feel like it could be more intuitive, like better labelling of hoses, something in the instructions maybe about how to tell what the battery level is like. And it claims on the website 1.5 hours to full charge, but it doesn't state what sort of wattage charger you need to do that. Con number 2, the domestic water is not always usable.
Still 0.
Like not even for washing up your dishes. And that depends on your source. Not that one, definitely not that one. Yeah, that's okay, and that's good. If your source tests really low with the Kactoily drinking water analyzer, I'd be dumping it straight back where it came from and not using it for anything around camp. And con number 3, after that little hiccup I had at the first use, I do have concerns for the power system. It's almost like an algorithm needs a tweak or something, or there's something going on with the battery voltage.
But as mentioned earlier, Itehil tell me they have fixed the problem in the newest production models.
Tips and hacks. My first tip is to keep it clear of heavy sediment. I used it in a river with a lot of just decayed leaf matter, and on purpose I kicked it all up and stirred it into the water. It did not like it. The flow dropped down to nothing and I thought I'd completely wrecked the filters, but it turns out after a couple of goes and a few backwashes, it came back to life. My second tip would be to use it often. First of all, because the filters get saturated and you don't want stagnant water sitting in the filters too often. So even just at home, break it out, run it through a quick cycle. And the second reason is for the power system. It's not going to do it great to sit on a shelf in your garage for 6 to 9 months, only to take it out camping and find the batteries have died. My third tip, we're still on power, make sure you're using a high watt USB-C charger. Again, on the website they claim 1.5 hours for a full charge. I've been using a 65 watt PD charger and it's taking somewhere north of 4 hours on that. So you must need something pretty hectic to get that 1.5 hour charge time. And on that note, if you're thinking 55 minutes and 34 litres per charge isn't enough, if you use the right power source, you're not limited. When I did the toddler bath water, I ran it that 54 minutes of filtering toddler bath water until it was flat. Then I plugged in my 65 watt USB-C charger, pressed run again, and it went, like straight after the battery was flat. And I let it go for another 45 minutes. Didn't hiccup. After 45 minutes, I gave up. I decided this will just run forever on a good USB-C power source. So if you're looking for something to filter a massive volume of water for your caravan or your camper trailer that's got huge tanks under it, this is not going to be for you. For me, I've got a camper trailer and my car camping setups where I carry a lot less water, and it would be pretty handy to be able to sit at camp a bit longer and filter a nearby water source instead of having to run an hour or two to camp. But I'm not going to put myself in a situation where if I can't get filtered water, lives are going to be at risk. What do you think? Have you got one, or do you have any experience with water filters? Have any tips or suggestions? Make sure you leave them down there in the comments, and you might just be helping a fellow camper in the future.